We need to have a conversation about Redfall. To start, no, I do not recommend that you play Redfall. Yes, it's on Game Pass, so I guess if you're playing it for free, that is probably the best way to do so, or for the subscription fee anyway. However, if you're looking to pay $70 or $100 on the collector's edition, no, I do not recommend that. This game has launched in a state where it has literally shaken Xbox fans to the core and has a lot of us questioning, can Microsoft actually pull off a AAA release that just hits with everybody? This was supposed to be their first big $70 release. They have had successes this year. Minecraft Legends reviewed fairly well. We had Hi-Fi Rush, but Redfall is kind of a disaster. So let's dive in a little bit and talk about why it's a problem and what is going on with this game. Now, if you're enjoying Redfall, that is great. I am really, really happy for you. Some of the problems I've had are, well, basically enemy AI to start. When you play this game, you will encounter enemies that will literally just stand there when you're right next to them and they won't attack you. They won't do anything. They are brain dead. I got about 2-3 hours into the game on normal difficulty, and just to see what would happen if I turn up to hard difficulty, not much changed. Enemies did more damage. Enemies took less damage, meaning you needed to shoot them with more bullets, and they had a little bit more health. But the brain dead AI really breaks you out of this experience through and through. Now, that's just the enemies that you're going to encounter in the wild. Then when you do co-op, which, by the way, you have to quit out of the game. As far as I know, you need to quit all the way out of the game to the main menu. You need to host a game. You need to invite your friend who has the Bethesda.net account, and then you go into the world. And when you go into the world, none of their progress carries over. So they're just playing with you, and sure, they get the loot, but nothing else. None of the story progress, even if you're at the same point, even if y'all started the game at the same time, their progress doesn't carry over. That's just ridiculous. Secondarily, there are story missions that you'll encounter throughout the game where you think you've found the objective, but for some reason, it's not allowing you to advance. It's not allowing you to advance because your co-op partner isn't close enough to your location for you to click the button or click the thing. There was a projector at one point in the game, and I seriously thought something was wrong with the game. I'm like, oh, okay, we didn't find something yet. So my friend, he tells me, he's like, wait, no, I did the same thing, and we went looking around forever. You have everything. I just need to be a little bit closer. What's going on here? And that's throughout the game. You can't do anything. And if you wander even like a little bit far apart, the characters start warning you, oh, we're getting too far apart. I didn't put that to the test, but you should be able to just play the game. Tons of glitches. I mean, you've probably seen them all on Twitter where there's a character just basically frozen in animation saying, I could do this all day. And you're just circle strafing around, and they can just do that forever. Now, I haven't encountered anything that bad. I've encountered enemies hovering around on the world, like gliding through the world. But, yeah, they're all dumb. A lot of the footage that I'm going to be showing for this, it's all on the hard difficulty, by the way. So, like, it's very easy to just bait them into a corner and then take them out. And there was some weird scaling issues yesterday where we were both just getting basically one shot by everything when we went to a co-op session. My friend was lower level. I was like level 8. He was like level 5 or something. And when we went to a co-op session, he was getting annihilated and I was just getting slaughtered for some reason. So I'm like, okay, let me just see what happens if I go back into the world solo. The fights were a lot easier. Everything seemed balanced. So it does seem like there are some sort of balancing issues, but I would have to put that to the test. It just didn't feel good, though, to be playing in co-op with somebody who was slightly lower than me. I have a theory. I think that this game needed to get out the door, and Arcane needed to move on to other projects. So at some point, Xbox said, let's cut our losses, let's sell this game, and hopefully we make enough back to cover the development costs of the property, basically. That is my theory about what happened with the property. one of the most frustrating things, and I'm fairly far into the story. Well, far enough. I'm about to fight one of the big bads, right? Um, one of the most frustrating things is the lack of indicators. Either they glitch and you don't even know where to go on the map unless you put your own marker, or there's just no indication of where you're supposed to go in the level. I remember I was looking for a dollhouse at one point in the mission, and there's just no indication of where to go, and then you have to go collect all the dolls. So the game just wants you to wander around aimlessly in an empty house with no enemies, nothing to really find, nothing interesting to really locate, and you're just supposed to find these 3 collectibles within the house. It's just boring. It's not particularly fun, and I just find it tedious. I'm like, just tell me where the dolls are so I can move on with the mission and see what's happening with the story. And that's constant throughout the experience of Redfall. It's incredibly frustrating. I think Redfall had potential. I was very excited about it leading up to launch, and I think a lot of people are just sort of left saying, what is this? Like, who is this for? And we're just frustrated. It's an empty world. It has brain dead AI. There's bugs. There's texture load-in issues. It's just across the board, they just dropped the ball. And this comes at a time when Star Wars is getting a lot of heat for having some of the same issues. But for Xbox, this has shaken people to the core about their faith in the property. Now I'll probably keep playing Redfall. Maybe I'll beat it. Maybe I won't. What are some positive things I could say about it? I can say this. One of the story missions was actually kind of good. The one, if you've actually played the game, there's a story mission about a little girl and some stuff that happened. And I was like, okay, I mean, that's kind of an easy pull at your heartstrings sort of mission, or stab you in the heart if you're if you're into vampires. And I'm like, okay, so there was something there, right? It indicated to me that there was a chance for them to do something unique or at least interesting with the property. But when you do stuff like the whole watercolor painting scene, this is supposed to be like a big tentpole release, and your cutscenes are the same as the As Dusk Falls team used. What is going on? Those are much lower impact on the production cycle. It's like, this is a AAA experience. You're charging $70 for it, and we get like watercolor paintings. Sure, if that's your artistic decision, but I have to imagine it's not. Like, look at the previous game that they worked on was Prey, right? And if you look at like the opening cinematics to that and how they did the Prey storytelling, it's a lot of it is in-engine, told in-engine, and a welcome treat compared to what we're getting with Redfall. And the overall consensus is that this game is just bad. Like, it's just getting lauded everywhere as not a great release. Let's take a look at some of the tweets that I've seen. Let me turn my filters back on the display. Sometimes when I'm doing like the interview I had with Pactor, which you can go check out up there. Here's some of the reviews. And I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I don't know how you give it an 8.5. I feel like when you give a game like that an 8.5, you're kind of like just saying, hey, this is okay. And as an Xbox fan, it's not okay. You shouldn't be giving stuff like this a pass. I didn't give stuff like this a pass in the Xbox One era, and we shouldn't be giving it a pass now because we're hungry for content, right? And personally, just on a personal note, well, I mean, okay, I don't mean to pick on the Xbox era crew, right? Obviously, they like the game much more than I did, but there are fundamental issues that all of us see with the core mechanics in the game that are very, very concerning. So I'll have to go read their review. I'm just surprised. I'm surprised, but I shouldn't pick on somebody who has a different opinion, because there are people out there that are enjoying themselves. So there's Xbox era, there's Niche Gamer, an 8, never heard of Niche, Spazio Games 7, PC Games N7, VGC 4 out of 5. So there's some higher than expected scores. There's Metro Game Central 3, Windows Central 3, VG247 3. Then we get into the lowers. Games Radar 2.5, 6.5 for Press Start, 5 for Gaming Bolt, 4.5 for Well Played, 4 for GameSpot, 4 for Noisy Pixel. This was at launch, so the Metacritic is sitting at 63, and OpenCritic is sitting at 64. Let's see what Metacritic for Redfall is sitting at now. 63, still at 63, right? User reviews. It looks like they turned them off. Are there other properties that I can look at it? Let's see. We got PC, 2.1 user score, 59. And the optimization, by the way, I've been playing mostly on PC. The optimization on PC is kind of a disaster. Like, I know my CPU's getting dated, but a 3700X should be able to handle anything that this game is throwing at you. And there's just like texture issues. Like if my 3700X and 3090 can't handle it, I don't want to know what Xbox is going to do when they encounter some bugs. And like, let's read some other quotes here really quick. Here's some IGN. Redfall is filled with vanilla missions in a lifeless world, and its lengthy list of display issues and bugs disappoint. Our review in progress. And there's textures loading in one of the key areas. This is one of the key locations where you like do stuff in the game. Redfall review from VG247. A bloodless imitation of Arcane's best work. Kind of funny. Is Redfall a one-off situation or a growing pattern for Xbox? That's what everybody is starting to think about Xbox. They just can't deliver on their AAA experiences. Now, again, I'm giving them Minecraft Legends and I'll give them Hi-Fi Rush this year because a lot of people pointed out, oh, you haven't thought about that. But they marketed Redfall as a AAA banger, basically, right? A game you're not going to want to miss, and it's this. And it happened with Crossfire X last year also. Game I was very excited about. You get it. A lot of similar problems, actually. Brain dead AI, easy even on the hardest difficulty, just not a good experience. Why are these games coming out? Like, make them good. Like, the issues that I'm highlighting, it just seems like it was shoveled out the door. Ryan McCaffrey, my colleague, will be talking about this on Unlock today. I'm still thinking a lot about this. I'm going to write a column about it for IGN this week. Redfall may only be just one game, but it is the final straw for a lot of people, I think. And he said the Xbox 360 glory days were long enough ago now that there's an entire generation of gamers who weren't even alive for / were too young for it. It's never been cool to them like it was to us. If you're Microsoft, that's a really big problem to overcome. Only A+ games can fix it. 360 era was almost 20 years ago. Let me see. 360 launch date. 2005. So almost 20 years ago. So what does that say about like the common consensus about what Xbox can bring? Their experience has been maybe the tail end of the 360 era. And then it was Xbox One after that. And Xbox One, largely not the best ever. Pretty rough. And PlayStation got a foothold with the PlayStation 4 during that era. And now here we are in the Series X. And it's just like, you know, Halo launches and the Halo campaign is quite good. But then the longevity of that property, it took them until season 3 to launch a season that puts Halo in a state where, hey, yeah, okay, this is passable. Some other users commented here, like, did Arcane forget the dimensions of actual hands to body size? And yeah, I think I actually have footage of a character like this where all the hands are like gigantic for some reason. Like the proportions are way off. Here's the GameSpot review. Arcane takes a stab at infusing the genre du jour with its signature style, but the end results are a bloody mess. I think they gave it a 4. So it's just, it begs the question, what is going on at Xbox? What are you doing with these properties? I'm glad that Hi-Fi Rush and Minecraft Legends are doing well this year. But stop. This was their stinger. This was their big stinger. And I have to wonder, like, is this what we can expect from developers for the next 2 years? Is this finally like the repercussions of COVID? That we get these buggy, really problematic games? That's probably part of it, but I think part of it is this game just had to get out. They knew they kind of had a stinker on their hands, and they were like, maybe people will be cool with it. We're not cool with it. People are kind of really fed up, actually, with a lot of this. You increase the price of all of your games, right? And and this is the result? What? I'm very unhappy with Redfall. I don't recommend it. Try it. If you try it out in any capacity, please play it on Game Pass. But the only way you can send a message, like if you don't like this property, do not spend money on it. Send a very clear message that, hey, no, this isn't like an acceptable launch state of a property. We're not beta testers. This is insane to me. I've had a lot of spicy tweets about it, but I don't know how anybody at any level of management looks at Redfall and says, yeah, that's ready to ship. It should have been delayed like a year or two minimum to fix these issues. It's really not in a good state. Hopefully they figured it out. Let me know what you think about Redfall in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. If you like my content, even when I'm negative about Xbox, hit that like button. It does help the video get shared. That's my 2 cents. I think I've said everything I'm going to say about Redfall on the channel. Very disappointed. I can't believe this is what the team in Arcane did after Prey. And this is Arcane Austin. This isn't the team that worked on Deathloop, I don't believe. So yeah, I think it was Prey and then this. Maybe they worked on Deathloop, I don't remember. But Deathloop was like a Game of the Year contender. And then like, this is just a bad look for Xbox. What are you doing? You buy this company and the first game you put out is like a 4. It's just not a good look. And it makes a lot of people go, what's going on here? Thank you so much to the members for supporting. I really, really appreciate you. Hit that join button if you want to watch all these videos without ads. And before I go, if you want to see the Michael Pachter interview, you can do so. It is right here. I'm going to go. I'll catch you for the next one. Look, if you're having fun with Redfall, I am very happy for you. Obviously, I hold Xbox to a very high standard because I want to see them succeed. So this is coming from a place of, what the hell happened? Right? It just doesn't make sense to me how this game was released. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.